again, everyone. Mark Macomb, Macomb County Executive, and with me is Vicki Rad, Director of our Planning and Economic Development. She's been the mastermind of trying to figure out how do we get some grants and funding to the small businesses here in Macomb County. And a small business is considered a business with 500 employees or less. We've had a number of different projects or programs we've already put out there. In fact, we're cutting some checks. This is funding we got from the federal government to support our small business who have been impacted by this, if you will, pandemic or the coronavirus. So with that being said, there's still more to come. And in fact, that's what we're here today to talk about. There are 3 new initiatives, 3 new programs that we've decided to kind of embark upon and to try to help some of our businesses get some more funding. And so these are, again, for small businesses. And Vicki, what do we got here? We got the first one is a micro grant?
Yes, so it's a micro enterprise assistance grant. Working with our partners at the Community Development Block Grant, the CDBG, we have about $2 million under that program. So our businesses throughout communities in Macomb County can apply for this. Really looking for that tiny small business, the 1 to 5. This also includes your home-based business.
Okay, and so there's the $2 million we set aside, and they're eligible up to how much on this particular grants?
It depends on the need. So our businesses do have to fill out an application, really provide some details on what the impact has been on COVID to their business, and each application will be determined. Okay,
all right, and again, we're going to get into this in specifically, but all of this information is going to be available at macombgov.org. Macombgov.org, you'll be able to connect to the planning department, to these business grants. All the information is there. There's an icon available specifically for the business. So macombgov.org is where if you think you might be eligible for one of these programs that we're talking about here, or any issue that you may have with your business, you'll be able to find the information on macombgov.org. So that's the one we're talking about, the Micro Enterprise Assistance Grant. But now we also have one for the workplace safety. You have about $10 million set aside for that program.
Yes, and we really did hear from our businesses with this one. You know, we provided the $5,000 grants. However, that doesn't make them whole. They still had to purchase a lot of PPE. They had to purchase technology to get remote business practices, whether it's the Zoom or the hardware, the laptops, mobile devices. So this is a reimbursement program. They can get up to $20,000 in reimbursement for any type of PPE they had to purchase or any type of mobile device.
And interesting enough, whether it's a business of less than 50, there's a specific amount available for them. I think it's about 100% reimbursement up to that $20,000. But if it's a business of 50 to 500, 50% of that is what we'll be able to kind of help them through. So again, if you think that your business is available for a workplace safety grant where you've already expensed some of these costs associated with trying to make sure that your workplace is safe for people coming into that building as an employee and or people that want to do business with you, you may be eligible for the $10 million we have available. So look for that one at macombgov.org as well. Click on the icon to see if maybe you can get reimbursed for some of those costs. And it's not just the hand sanitizers, the PPE, the masks, even the plexiglass or whatever. It's even technology.
It is technology.
It's possible for this.
Yes, absolutely. When you look at the businesses that had to go to 100% remote, they had to purchase those laptops, they had to purchase software to get their employees online. So all of those costs are reimbursable, dollar for dollar. You submit your receipts to us, and we send you a check for those costs.
And I understand it's not just for-profit, but nonprofit is eligible as well.
Absolutely. And this also includes some of our schools, our daycares. We have a task force that we pulled together, and one of the biggest things that came up is what these capital costs were for these businesses and nonprofits. So we want to get that money back into your hands.
And that's great. You mentioned that, and I just got to reiterate it. Even with the schools, we've already done that too with the ISD as well as our school districts. We've put out aside $7 million because of the schools issues. In other words, determining whether or not they're going to have in-class or if it's going to be online. $7 million went from some of the funding we had available to the schools for the very same thing, for technology, because we knew they were going to be caught in a situation where, how do we fund this and how do we provide the technology for kids? We didn't want to leave any district in Macomb County behind or without an opportunity for a kid to be connected. So this program is more specific to dealing with some of the businesses. If you think that you're eligible for some of the expenses you've already kind of incurred as a result of this pandemic, take a look at this grant opportunity. If you have some of those receipts, send them our way, and we'll see if we can't help you being reimbursed for that. So
you got it.
And we also know that some businesses either have never had an opportunity to have an online presence.
Yes.
Some have, and they're trying to figure out how do they upgrade that. And so with that being said, we kind of think that that's what's going to be, kind of moving forward, the way people are going to be doing business. So if you do, that's great. We can upgrade you. And if you don't, we want to get you online with what's called the Online Business Connect. And so there's some money, $5 million available for businesses in that grant project as well.
Yes, actually it's $10,000.
Oh, wow.
The Online Business Connect. When we look at our businesses, in order for them to sustain sustain and do business differently, we need to get them that online presence. And so with this particular program, it's a voucher. They'll work with a vetted vendor, a media or multimedia website vendor in Macomb County to improve their website, including search engine optimization. So if you're Googling Thai food, a Macomb County business pops up in that top 10 search. This is one where we see it going long term, especially with our day-to-day where we can't necessarily do face-to-face all the time.
And we're doing that even as a government. We're finding that we're trying to figure out how do we redirect and start looking at online presence and doing things more online. So that's even happening in government entities, but we know that businesses had kind of regroup and kind of find a different way of doing business. And so with that, knowing some don't have the presence, we're going to work through that. And those that do, if they need some kind of an upgrade or assistance, we're going to provide that. But as Vicki mentioned, this isn't somewhere we're going to just hand them a pile of cash or cut them a check.
Yeah.
This is one where they're going to actually, apply for us to figure out how do we connect them with a vendor, and as you mentioned, it's going to be a company or business that's Macomb County related.
Correct. So this is kind of a dual program. So if we've got any Macomb County businesses out there that provide website redevelopment or any type of media or social media platforms for businesses, they can apply to become a vetted vendor under this program, and our businesses would be directly connected with them.
And just a reminder on all three of these, again, some of you may have said, you know what, but I've already received a check for some other purpose, whether it was through one of our programs or other federal program that was available out there. Understand that these programs, even if you have received some funding in the past to deal with a specific need, you are still eligible for these projects here, as long as it isn't what they call that double dipping. You're using these funds to support something you've already taken care of or dealt with. So again, we've got the three programs or projects we're looking at here: the Micro Enterprise Assistant Grant Program, up to $2 million for businesses; workplace safety, where you can be reimbursed for technology as well as PPE; and the one to try to help you upgrade or become online or get an online presence. So three projects or three programs we're offering here in Macomb County, and once again, Vicki and her staff are going to be available. They're waiting by their phones. Operators are standing by for your contact, and again, we would like you to do that online because we have all that information available. MacombGov.org is where you need to go for the information to assist you, not just with businesses, but anything and information available that you're looking for dealing with this pandemic. So Vicki, I thank you once again for bringing this opportunity to help our businesses here in Macomb County sustain through this, but also I want to thank you for tuning in, and once again remind you to keep you and your family safe.